Hello guys and gals, how's it going? Screezilla here, and this is a warning for the following video. The following content has mistreatment of PT boats in it. If you do not want to see PT boats getting mistreated, please look away and do not watch this video. And we are back. Okay, so as I warned you, this video has well, it's a bit grim for the fellow competitors in it. Yes, the PR.159. Let's talk a little bit about the Petra class frigate, first of all. Now, the Petra class was a NATO reporting name for the class of light frigate designed in the 1950s and built by the Soviet Navy in the 1960s. The Soviet design was Dorozhevi Korolev escort ship, Project 159. Now, this was a development on the Merkur class of frigate. They were the first gas turbine powered ships of the Soviet Navy. And the role of the ship was basically anti-submarine warfare in shallow waters, basically hunting them down. Now, one of the things of this ship is, as you'll see under here, there is a big bulge. And this bulge is frustrating because you will get it caught on things in the shallows. But basically that was the equipment for listening. Sonar and all that sort of gubbins. A total of 54 ships were built in the Kaliningrad Yantra shipyard. The Kaliningrad Yantra shipyard built 22, and the Khabarovsk shipyard built 32 of these ships. The ship was decommissioned in '92, but some are still in service with the export customers. Now, the export customers were the Azerbaijan Navy, Egyptian Navy, Ethiopian Navy, the Indian Navy, the Syrian Navy, and the Vietnam People's Navy. Interestingly, it's interesting with India because they've got this really weird sort of lineup of vehicles. I'd love to see an Indian tech tree go out just because of the weird lineup of vehicles. They have this weird mix of Soviet vehicles and British vehicles and sort of, you know, Western vehicles and stuff like that. They just have this really weird mix, and it's kind of neat. So the Project 159 has two twin 76mm gun turrets, and they were controlled with radar direction. So they're very accurate. The ship also carried torpedoes, and it can carry depth charges and all that like. Now, the ship has what's called automatic artillery guns, and basically these are just guns that lob tons of shells very quickly. This thing has a ridiculous rate of fire, as you've been seeing. Now, we've not been getting too many hits so far. We've got an assist, but that's about it. Now, as you'll notice here, when we turn the guns, the radar does actually move. You know, these guns are radar controlled, and that was mainly for the fuse sets for the fused shells, things like that, and also to get the sort of direction completely right. So we've started a fire there on a destroyer. Now, these are classified as destroyers in the game, so you do start in the destroyer spawn. However, you can quickly get to the PT areas on this map, and these maps are where this boat really just, well, it's sickening. It's a rather disgusting map when it has that and gets into these areas, because it is just so very overpowered. And I don't use overpowered lightly because I don't like the term, and I don't honestly think there are many overpowered vehicles in the game. The IS-7, for instance, is pretty tough, but if you've got APFDS shells, things like that, it's not that hard to kill. You know, even heat will cause some damage to it, so it's not a complete impossibility to kill. And you actually stand a chance against it. However, PT boats do not stand a chance against the 159. The only option they've got to kill it is to run up to it with torpedoes. The only way you can do that is by waiting for it to be on a reload. But if you get caught when it's not on a reload, you're going to have a big problem. As you can see here, we are just decimating that destroyer. The rate of fire of this thing is ridiculous. You know, you've just got so many shells to lob out, and they cause ridiculous amounts of damage. Now, I tend to use the sort of flak shells, the self-destructing shells, because they destruct themselves very close to boats, and when you're fighting things like PT boats, they will just explode above them or near to them and cause ridiculous damage. I've just had a ×4 streak there, you know, like, you get so many streaks in this boat, it's unbelievable. As you see there, the Russian patrol boat just had no chance there. This thing is just disgusting, and I don't know how you fix it, really. One major thing would be to only have it fighting ships from its era. You know, when you're fighting sort of World War I style destroyers and very light patrol boats, you're going to cause enormous amounts of damage to them, and they're not really going to be able to fight back. Look at these G5s, for instance. These are all reserve ships. You know, these people are in reserve boats, and what chance do they have against me? Very little. Their only option is to really get torpedoes off at me and hope that I sort of catch a torpedo to the face. Now, I launched my own fish there because I'm just on the reload. Guns are reloaded now, and this LS is not having a good day for me. We've got a nasty over there. Well, we had a nasty. Yeah. As I said, you're gonna take down a lot of things very quickly, and you do. Like, right now I'm sort of floating around their spawn, and I can't really help but be here. You know, I guess I could have gone out towards B and C, but the spawns are so poorly placed. It's very problematic in ships because the spawn protection is really not there. You know, you just float into the enemy spawn without realising, and then you're taking out every enemy ship pretty much instantly, and just it's really, really unbalanced and unfair on people. So far we've got 7 kills and 5 assists. Now this that guy got very lucky there, managed to sneak past me. So managed to get away there. We've got some planes up as well, and planes are actually a big threat to this boat, because you don't really have any anti-aircraft guns. You've only got the main turrets for anti-aircraft defence. Saying that though, you've got 4 76mm guns, and they have aircraft fused shells. So when you fire at a plane, generally the plane does not survive very well. We've disabled that F6's rudder. The F6S is now, sorry, the F6F has now got no rudder. Another patrol boat over there. We fire off, we take out a load of crew, because our gun just, our shell just explodes above the ship, just ruining his crew. And that's the thing, is you just decimate people so quickly. There's another G5, and yeah, he's not having a good time here. He's managed to launch torpedoes, but yeah, he's dead, and we're managing to outrun the torpedoes. And now we're behind the enemy spawn. Again, as I said, this is the sort of game where you just really can't help but spawn camp. I've just blundered into this area, sort of, I say unwittingly, but it's not much you can do. And I just, yeah, it's sickening. It's just sickening. It's very hard to defend this ship because it's just so ridiculously overpowered. 11 kills now with 5 assists. I'll just add. So, pretty much we've disabled 3 players from this game if they've got ship respawns. We've got another plane up behind us. Try and get the guns on target. Now, as I said, planes can be a real threat to this ship, because if you're not paying attention, you will lose sight of the planes, because obviously you don't have AI gunners. But again, when you get on target, those planes aren't going to survive very well. That Spitfire just got completely blown out of the sky by us. Plane number 2. So that's 2 planes and 11 ships. We've basically taken 2 players completely out of the game alone. So 3 ship respawns and 1 plane respawn. It completely used up. Around this area as well means they can't cap with their PT boats. So again, that's really taken them out of the match, because, well, how do you fight back with this? Because you can't, you know, if you've got a couple of 50 cals on board, you're not going to do too much to this ship. And, well, it's just very unfair. Got another assist there, by the way. We're on 6 assists now. You will get a lot of assists with this ship. And, yeah, it is just very frustrating. So again, we've got an R boat now, and we had an R boat then. We've got another PR.159 in the area, and 2 of us working together. It's pretty much game over for anyone that spawns in, you know, and it is just really not very fair and not very fun to play. You know, how do you play against this sort of odds? You know, once the destroyers get into the PT boat section, there's really nothing you can do to counteract them. So, I do ask, is this fair? And honestly, I don't think it is. You know, I think the only way you could really, I guess, balance this or make it somewhat more even would be to maybe, you know, remove the option of remove the PT boats and destroyers in the same sort of lineup, but then it causes problems as well, because people want to be able to play with both their ships, and yeah, it's very hard to work out what to do. The other option would be to make better spawns and actually have safer spawn areas, so actually make sandbars around all of these spawns, so destroyers and PR.159s and larger ships like this can't get close to the enemy spawns, so people stand a chance. But until they do that, it's going to be problematic, and these are problems we've talked about since day dot of the beta, and really they've not been fixed. We're getting hit by a couple of shells here. Not sure if I think it's friendly fire in all honesty. Firing off some rounds. Don't know what, but something. But yeah, it really is very hard to work out what to do, and well, in all honesty, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you think as well, what you think could be done to help this. So we'll jump to the post-battle results now, and I will see you there. Okay, and we're in the post-battle results screen. So, yeah, that was a pretty insane battle. For me, it was pretty easy. Fighter Rescue Avenger, Double Strike times 3. Assist Streak times 5, Multi-Strike times 2, Triple Strike times 3, Triple Strike times 3, Ship Rescuer 10, Professional 10, Shadow Streak 3, Survivor, Terror of the Sea. So we made 56k lines from that, as well as 6k research points towards our next destroyer. And we managed to finish this happy ending without too much issue. It's just... what can you say with this ship? It's not balanced in the least. there is no balancing here. So as you see, let's see how many hits. So 79 hits we had. 1 critical, 7 enemy kill, 7 enemy assists, sorry, kill assists, 2 air targets destroyed, and 12 naval targets destroyed. As you can see, top of the scores, obviously. You know, there's no way of counteracting the ship generally. If it gets into the PT spawn early on, it's absolutely devastating. So we've just aced it as well. Yeah, this ship is just something else. Now, how do you nerf it? Well, you can't really nerf this, because the only way you could possibly nerf it is by making the shells effectively worse. However, the shells are probably its main strength. You've got the 76mm HE, and then the HE variable time explosive fuse. And this is the thing to use, because this thing will just wipe out everything, including planes, because it is just silly. Honestly, if you're looking at using this, don't use any rockets or depth charges on board, because they're just things that can explode. You're a tough boat, you get into a PT spawn, you're pretty much going to annihilate everything. You've not got any real armor, so to speak, but this thing doesn't need it. You get into a PT spawn and you just annihilate everything in a couple of shots. And the only things that come close to it, I guess, for other nations are things like the Type 143 Albatross. The Albatross has got the same gun. It's only got a single sorry, a single turret. But that's pretty much the only thing that's sort of close. The Albatross is probably going to be semi-decent. Most people don't use it because, well, to get it, you need to grind all the way down this line. And, yeah, there's a lot of ships you need to unlock, which, you know, most people don't bother with. So, you know, in the American lineup, you've got destroyers, of course. The Asheville is probably the closest thing, and again, you don't really see many of these. With the Bofors guns on there, well, the Bofors gun on there, sorry, that's the only thing that really comes close to that fire rate, but it's not going to cause... Oh, sorry, it's got the 76mm, sorry, yeah, so it has got the 76mm gun on board, and that's probably the closest thing you've got to it in American, and again, it's only a single cannon. And then with the British, of course, yeah, you've got some okay fast-firing guns, but nothing major. So, is this the most overpowered boat in the game? I would say yes. The fact that you can get the sort of just so many kills so easily, it just... Look, I don't know what to do with this. It's very easy to use. There's no real sort of skill. It's just basically get into a spawn, and, you know, the trouble is the spawns are so open you can't help but spawn camp sometimes, and it's so easy to annihilate everything. And it basically, you know, the win to loss ratio on this thing is probably very high, just because it's such a ridiculous boat. If we look at let's look at my win to loss record in it. So the PR.159, so I've had 14 battles and 10 victories, so a 71% victory ratio when I'm using it. 16 respawns, so I've had 6 extra spawns, 12 deaths, and 65 kills. So you can see the kill to death ratio is just ridiculous there. You know, it's so high in this thing. The only thing I think comes close to it is the BMO, and even the BMO is not nearly as overpowered as the PR.159, and the BMO is pretty overpowered. You know, you can sort of see with the the victory ratio. The 183 has probably got a high victory ratio because that's my backup boat for when I lose the PR.159, and I've not really used it that much. Yeah, you can just sort of see just how insane that is, you know. There's only 14 battles, so it might even out a little bit more, but I generally don't lose battles when I'm using that thing because I get so many kills in it. So yeah, as overpowered boats go, this one is pretty overpowered. Use it until it gets nerfed, because you're going to make it basically makes the Russian tech tree so much easier. I've even considered putting a talisman on it because, well, this thing with a talisman would just be very, very useful indeed. Alright guys, well I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye. Does. This guy's coming in for a head-on. Don't want any of that. Oh! Oh, that was beautiful! Holy crap, that was hilarious.